my name is Litia and I'm from the beautiful island of Laos and I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
My name is Casey, I'm from Tabua. We love Today FM in Tabua. Today FM rocks.
My name is Selina, I'm from Tawenga-Vengamba. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Pula, my name is Carlo. I love listening to the music in Today FM, in Malak Island. Today FM rock.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
In the news, $10 million sugar help creates debate in Parliament. Fiji police works closely with Interpol to fight crime. And later in sports, Fiji Sevens team finishes third in World Series.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Spade.
It has been revealed publicly for the first time since the events of 2000 that the non-renewal of cane farm leases during the then Labour government was instigated by the CEO of the TLTB at the time, Maika Ngarikau, and General Manager and now Member of Parliament, Niko Nawaikula.
He was a TLTB. Did he ever find out? Did he ever find out what the farmers went through when you went around with the former CEO of a TLTB in Vanuatu telling people not to renew leases? You need to talk to him. That is the reality. These are the people now who are suddenly the saviors of the sugarcane industry. They are suddenly the saviors of the sugarcane industry because it politically suits them.
Syed Qayyum further added that opposition parties such as NFP were showing disrespect to the cane farmers by claiming the government was throwing money to the farmers.
From this paper, it says NFP says to growers, these payments are like the Prime Minister's small enterprise grants and help for homes. So take the money government is throwing at you. Throwing at you. You know, this is a huge disrespect for the farmers of this country. It's a huge disrespect to say that somehow or the other, we're just throwing money at them like that. Madam Speaker, when we provide assistance, it really irks them. It really irks them.
Certain opposition politicians have come under scrutiny for feeding false information to cane farmers, some of who are now against the government's $10 million grant to assist cane farmers in the Western Division most affected by Tropical Cyclone Winston. Acting Prime Minister Ayaz Syed Qayyum revealed in Parliament today that the government knows of farmers in Lambasa being misled and influenced to stage a protest march this week against farmers getting government assistance. Maggie Boyle reports.
All your ammunition will be running out.
Responding to an opposition supplementary question on the government's recent sugar assistance, the acting Prime Minister revealed that not all farmers are happy.
There are some people, obviously, who do not necessarily like this assistance, and there are unfortunately many politicians. We hear that after the announcement was made, there was some group that's planning to have a march next Saturday in Vanuatu.
With the sugar sector and its reforms a hot issue, debate in Parliament was uproarious.
The farmers are saying that they were promised $85 a ton by Fiji First when it was campaigning in 2014. Can we get a reply in this house and answer? Just simply yes or no.
See, again, did you say $85? Did you say $100? But can we understand, can they understand, Madam Speaker? It's not just about the price you pay, it's about the cost incurred.
The number of active growers have declined by 5,764. Can he tell the people of this country that there has been a massive decline of 1.84 million tons of cane?
Let me give you some facts. Madam Speaker, cane farmers have received an average of $80.14 per ton of cane from 2012 to 2016. This is the highest cane price by far for any 5-year period.
There was even elections banter.
That's what's happening. You see, these guys have started campaigning already. They're on the horse. They're on the horse.
The acting PM assures farmers that the $10 million grant is from within the current budget. Government's development of the industry is clearly a prickly issue that's expected to draw out even more lively discussion given the reform of the sector, as well as more politicking on the cane fields. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
Meanwhile, Syed Qayyum also was critical of some politicians who have been using race and religion to campaign. He says these politicians should not take advantage of Fijians.
Unfortunately, Madam Speaker, I also heard in Vanuatu from the farmers themselves that some of the political parties are going around and now using religion and ethnicity as a means of trying to win their support. Madam Speaker, you see how they react? You see how they react? You see how they react? It is touching a raw nerve.
The 4-lane highway from Nandi Airport to Wailolo Junction is expected to cost around $165 million. This is more than double the cost initially allocated when the project started 2 years ago. Akosita Tale reports.
There's been an $84 million budget increase for this project compared to an initial estimate of $81 million, all said and done.
The FRA is on track to have these works completed by April 2018 despite the many challenges due to the relocation. Madam Speaker, I am able to advise the House that the cost of the completion will be around $165 million.
Fiji Roads Authority Chief Executive John Hutchinson has told FBC News the initial budget also did not cater for land acquisition, which was necessary to increase the road size. Infrastructure Minister Parveen Bala says the increased budget was also a result of the need to improve utilities as road upgrades progressed.
This has been due to the relocation of water pipes, electricity cables, and telecommunication cables. Madam Speaker, the intention was to avoid further unnecessary cost with the relocation.
With the project expected to be completed by mid-2018, Kumar says the highway will improve visitor experience and improve traffic flow. Akosita Tale, FBC News.
The Fiji police force is well equipped to combat any riots, says Defence Minister Ratuinoke Kumbombola. He was responding to questions in Parliament today. Akosita Tale again with this report.
The Police Special Response Unit will respond to domestic crisis and provide humanitarian assistance whenever and wherever required. Defence Minister Ratuinoke Kumbombola says at the moment, police can make available 4 platoons of 30 men deployed to any part of the country within 24 hours.
Deployment depends on the gravity of the situation on the ground. For instance, 1 platoon, 2 platoons, or maybe 3 platoons can be deployed at any time to any part of Fiji to support the divisional riot team.
The officers possess several skill sets: handling civil disturbances, medical communications, and negotiations to confront and contain riot situations. Ratuinoke adds there is also appropriate equipment, including protective shields and batons, available at all divisions.
On the equipment, Madam Speaker, the existing riot equipment that is in stock at the Police Special Response Base in Masino is sufficient for the light strike force and the anti-riot unit formations to combat any riot in Fiji today.
Kumbombola has also given an assurance that the RFMF's Bushmaster vehicles will not scare tourists, as they will be used for pre-deployment training at the Black Rock Army Camp in Nandi. Akosita Tale, FBC News.
Being a member of the International Criminal Police Organization, the Fiji Police Force has direct access to the Interpol system network. Defence Minister Ratuinoke Kumbombola says the network enables the force to trace movement of criminals and stolen goods around the world. Saniani Boiler reports.
Being a member of Interpol since 1971, the Fiji Police Force is able to share information and intel with other law enforcement agencies with the 189 Interpol member countries.
Madam Speaker, the Fiji Police Force benefits by being exposed to international standards and concepts for information sharing, management of investigations, and the analysis of crime trends and threats, among others.
Kumbombola also answered a question by the opposition MP Parmod Chand.
Can the Minister confirm if Interpol is providing support to our joint border security initiatives, such as those undertaken by FIRCA and the police on the crackdown?
Fiji Police Force also benefits by being able to access Interpol support services, such as emergency support on such threats as terrorism, illicit drug trafficking, human trafficking, financial and high-tech crime, and corruption, among others. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
By being exposed to Interpol standards, the Fiji Police Force has also improved its own professionalism and standards, which further improve crime investigations in Fiji. Sainiani Mboila, FBC News.
Civil Service Minister Said Kayum hit out at opposition MP Salote Randrondro for a question related to the Civil Service Ministry. Randrondro had asked why there was no annual report for the minister for 2015. Said Kayum replied the question was illogical because there was no such ministry 2 years ago.
So the honourable member says, because the annual report was not presented, therefore we do not know what's happened in civil service reform. Well, firstly, that ministry did not exist. Secondly, if you were to assume that it did exist, the fact is we have given numerous reports to this parliament on the civil service reform. So logically that statement is flawed.
Still to come, Fiji exposed to cybercrime. And vegetable prices decreases. Details after the break.
Nimbula vinaka na yavangunga andi moala radava ranavika o tikongona tau na singatoka ando talitaka na vakaronga na Mbula FM number 2 na serre.
Ya dora subuli kurna bili. Iborani batukara hambara binaranga. Do talitakina na vakaronga na Mbula FM number 2 na serre. Bula.
Bula FM number 2 na serre.
Environment Minister Praveen Bala says oil spills have been contained and any environmental damage has been minimized in relation to the sunken cargo ship the Southern Phoenix. The minister also noted that investigations into what led to the ship sinking in Suva Harbour are underway and the conclusions will be tabled in Parliament later. Bala was responding to a question from the Leader of Opposition Rote Mumukepa on what plans were in place for controlling environmental damage caused by the oil spill of the sunken vessel. He added that a major upgrade was planned for the port of Suva, which would strengthen safety measures and clean up the collection of derelict ships that currently litter the harbour.
Maritime Safety Authority, in partnership with the Fiji Ports Corporation and other stakeholders, took the responsibility as the first responder to deploy oil spill booms immediately around the ship after the incident happened. This was done to ensure that any oil spill was contained within the deployed boom area.
Alleged rapist and murderer Choso Dholonandolu has denied claims that he impregnated a girl after raping her years ago. Dholonandolu, who is alleged to have raped 4 girls in his community and allegedly murdered the 4th victim, told the Suva High Court this morning that he has only 1 daughter from his wife. Shireen Shivan has been following the case.
The first alleged victim in this case was only 13 years old when she was raped. Joshua Dholonandolu claims she was one of his girlfriends and admits having sex with her. However, he denied being the father of her child, saying there was no paternity test to clarify this. Dholonandolu says he has no idea why the victim had put allegation on him and said he would like to ask her about this himself if he is given a chance. The accused claims police has fabricated this information with the investigation on the death of a 14-year-old girl in Deumba last year. He argues he never had any physical relations with the first alleged victim, and prosecution pointed out that Dholonandolu was not consistent with his answers. When asked about the second victim, Dholonandolu denied raping her and said he allowed the police officers to write whatever they want on his statement, which he later signed. Prosecution questioned him on how he can claim the victims and investigating officers are all lying. Dholonandolu maintained he allowed the police officers to write things they wanted to write in his statement. Prosecutor Lee Burney became angered with the repeated answers from Dholonandolu and asked Judge Justice Salesi Temo to intervene and tell the accused to give direct answers. The judge then asked for clarifications from the accused in Ethiopia. However, defense counsel insisted that the court only record Dholonandolu's responses as stated by him. The court was also told that Dholonandolu's mother, who died in 2014, allegedly facilitated traditional apologies of Mbulumbulu whenever he committed a crime. Shireen Shivan, FBC News.
Fiji is vulnerable to cybercrime activities due to the availability of high internet connectivity. Australia's Ambassador for Cybercrime Affairs, Dr. Tobias Feakin, says with people becoming more dependent on information technology, there is a need to protect information from being hacked. Kelly Vadhala reports.
Cybercrime is a fast-growing area of crime. The increasing use of technology and the internet puts everyday citizens at risk of becoming targets of cyber criminals.
For Fiji, it's undoubtedly an issue for cybercrime, but what we're seeing is that's being addressed within government and clearly understood. We're looking at seriously well-funded organised criminal groups who have very high-level cyber capabilities.
Many Fijians say with the new trends emerging, the dangers posed by different types of cybercrime has become very real.
As far as age is concerned and the crime is concerned, I think there has to be proper monitoring about it.
All the young people fall into traps being done by hackers online, and sometimes it's too late to resolve the issue.
It's increasing in Fiji, and most of the people they have following it.
Dr. Firkin, who was in the country for a short visit, held discussions with a few organizations on digital security around e-commerce and promoting digital platforms for wider service provision.
It can be addressed, though, through general awareness and raising the awareness of individuals and what they are doing online.
The Ministry of Defence says they are currently liaising with the Australian government in terms of assistance on this important area, and they're also looking at cyber capacity building programs in the Indo-Pacific. Kelly Vathala, FBC News.
Good news for consumers as the prices of vegetables normalize in markets around the country. Vegetables and root crops have become cheaper with the onset of the cold season. Ropate Valeme reports.
It's the time of the year again when consumers do not have to pay double or triple the normal price when buying vegetables.
Price is going down because of plenty vegetables coming. Farmers, they're growing, now they bring in the market, so the price is going a little bit down. Now you can get the tomatoes. Sometimes you go the round cabbage is coming now again in the market.
It's the cold season that determines a drop in vegetable prices. Farmers are back on their feet again after Tropical Cyclone Winston, which also benefits middlemen and vendors. The ripple effect streamed down to consumers.
Now the prices of green vegetables have dropped and you can buy a bundle of cabbage for $1. You used to pay $5 for a bundle after the cyclone.
A 63-year-old market vendor from Lombasa says she sells the vegetables depending on the prices from the farmers.
For example, jackfruit, we sell it for $3 a plate because we buy it for $10. We buy cabbage for $20, so we sell it for $1 bundle. But when we buy it for $40, then we sell it as a $2 bundle.
The drop in the prices of vegetables will stabilize at least as long as the cold season lasts. Consumer could end up forking more when weather pattern changes months down the line. Ropate Valeme, FBC News.
Ahead in sports with Jamie, he will have more on the London Sevens, but joining us next is Rachel with business.
Thank you, Jackie. Good evening, and coming up in business tonight. Tourism industry boom continues. And in growing Fiji, FRA hires street light contractors. Stay with us.
I'm another sort of of whenever I want to tune in to listen to great music, I always tune in to my favorite radio station, Gold FM, only the classic.
My name is Lita. We love listening to Gold FM here at the Fiji Hideaway Resort and Spa. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
We here at Kano Waterfront Lautoka love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
In business tonight, the Fiji Commerce and Employers Federation will be holding its annual top conference, executive conference next month. Chief Executive Nasbit Hazelman says the two-day conference will have a diverse range of topics.
With Fiji's leadership for the fight against climate change, topics will this year focus on responsible business in a green economy.
The focus of the conference is seeing how we can do business at the same time ensuring that we take cognizance of climate change, the blue and green economy, and how we can work businesses within that sort of environment to ensure that we maintain our pristine environment in Fiji.
There will be 15 speakers, including those from the private and public sector and leading business people from Australia, New Zealand and America.
why we need businesses at the center of solutions. These are not problems that will be solved by the scientists. These are problems that we all have to work together, and businesses in the private sector are an essential part of the solution.
One of the new topics is the digital media revolution, which is aimed at allowing the various industries to understand the role of the media.
The heads of the various universities in Fiji, and they're going to be speaking on how they're developing programs within the university to sort of tackle these issues in all areas of the not only the university but all areas of academia, and how can business work better with them in terms of developing their particular program.
The TOPEX conference will be held on the 23rd and 24th of next month at the Shangri-La Fijian Resort and Spa.
Over 68,400 visitors came to our shores last month, which is an increase of around 18%. There was an increase in tourists from our traditional markets, which is Australia and New Zealand, and visitors arriving for holidays accounted for 76% of the total. The majority of the arrivals were in the age range of 25 to 64, which accounts for the vast majority of the working population. And now with a look at last week's action on the stock market, here's Elizabeth from HFC Bank.
Vinaka. On the SPSC trading platform, it was a week of share price gains and dividend announcements, as well as an increase in overall trading. A total of 82,145 shares exchanged hands in 87 transactions, accumulating to $178,379, with 6 listed shares seeing an increase in their share prices. Amongst the price gainers were ATH, Paradise Beverages, RB Patel Group, Toyota Tsusho or TTS, Fijian Holdings and BSP Convertible Notes Limited. These increases resulted in the overall market value rise to a new maximum value of $1.4 billion. 3 companies declared dividends for their shareholders. TTS declared an increased dividend of 40 cents per share. Fiji K Insurance declared a dividend of 4 cents per share, and Please Global Limited declared a final dividend of 2 cents per share. That's it from a local stock market. Vinaka.
Thanks, Elizabeth. On to today's exchange rates. The Fijian dollar strengthened against the Chinese yuan and the American dollar to close at 3.23 and 46 cents respectively. Closer to home, the Australian and New Zealand dollar weakened, closing at 62 cents and 67 cents, while the PNG kina rose to close at 1.30. Onto the commodities market, an increase over the weekend as oil prices rose and closed at $50.72 a barrel. Gold rose by $8.87 an ounce, closing at $1,255, and silver followed suit, closing at $16.87 an ounce. In Growing Fiji tonight, the Fiji Roads Authority has confirmed that the maintenance of Fiji's current streetlight portfolio has been awarded to 4 local contractors. FRA Chief Executive John Hutchinson says the contracts have been awarded to Power Electric Limited, Pacific Electric, Engineer ProQ Construct, and Tanoa Electrical Works. Hutchinson says the immediate priority of these contractors is to attend to the streetlight repair, which is currently behind schedule.
Yes, we've had some issues with failures over the last month or two, but the contractors are now on board. They've mobilised, and you should start to see some works occurring in and around the neighbourhoods in the coming weeks and months ahead.
And that's business this evening. Jamie joins you now with the latest in sports.
Thank you, Rachel, and good evening. In sports after the break, a wrap-up of the London Sevens and the launch of the 2017 Super Marathon. This and more coming up.
मैं प्रेमिला वायरुकू रेकी रेकी से सुबह मेरी आँख खुलती है तो मैं मिर्ची एफएम सुनती हूँ। मिर्ची एफएम इज नंबर 1, इट्स सो हॉट।
हम लोग बार टाउन के कैरियर ड्राइवर लोगों ने हम लोग के मिर्ची एफएम सुनो अच्छा लगे। मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट।
हाय, मैं संध्या नारिया रेकी से मेरे सारे दोस्त मिर्ची एफएम सुनते हैं। मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट। आई लव मिर्ची एफएम।
हमें स्पिन टोटो ताबुआ के मिर्ची एफएम में सबसे अच्छा गाना बजे
Mirchi FM, it's hot.
The Vodafone Fiji Sevens team ended the World Series on a rather unimpressive note. The Olympic gold medalists were dumped out of pool play at the London tournament. However, the side did all that it could to redeem itself on day 2 by securing the Challenge Trophy, a 9th place finish. Vashnil Prasad has more.
Level of the competition, unaccustomed though.
It was a result we did not expect. For many, the London Sevens was over on the first day after Fiji failed to qualify to the Cup quarterfinals. Wales went up first on the scoreboard before Sevuloni Modenathangi leveled the scores.
Modenathangi.
Down 14-7, Kalionena Soko equalized before the half-time break.
Well, I think, obviously your teams are working us out in terms of that game that we play and pressurising us, so it's how you break down their defence more than anything, and obviously that takes a little bit of grey matter. I suppose the other thing is obviously working on the defence itself. Different shapes and patterns that you have, the way that you can control attacks, we're looking at that all the time. But more than anything, making sure you make your one-on-one tackles, which is paramount in sevens.
Joshua Vakurunambili and Jerry Tuai scored a try each in the second half as Fiji defeated Wales 26-14. Despite the poor finish, Beba says the team has done well in some aspects.
Yeah, I like the way we played, to be quite honest with you. It's, I suppose, the most coherent we've looked all weekend. Yep, we know we can score tries, and we obviously create pressure on opposition by offloading, but we did some smart things in that game, and it was good to see.
The coach has a lot of planning and fine-tuning ahead of the 2018 season, which could bring more pressure.
The long seasons, there's some of the boys there that have come in this year and haven't had a big off-season, the boys who obviously met the heights of the Olympics, and it all comes together really when you get to this tough end. Congratulations to Fiji. They have won the London Sevens Challenge Trophy.
Meanwhile, the Gareth Baber coach side has finished third on the Sevens World Series table with 150 points. London Sevens runner-up England is second with 164 points. Meanwhile, series winner South Africa ended the season with 192 points after winning 5 titles from the 8 finals that it featured in. New Zealand, USA, Australia, Scotland, Canada, Argentina and Wales are the other teams that finished in the top 10. Meanwhile, South Africa has won its second Sevens World Series title despite finishing 5th at the London tournament. The 2008-2009 season was the first time they claimed the series title. Coach Neil Powell was a happy man with his team's performance throughout the season.
Oh, listen, I think very thankful. It's been really a good year. And I know as humans we always tend to look back to the first tournament and you almost determine your season by that. But I think phenomenal effort by the guys over this season. I think 8 cup finals and 5 wins from those 8 is definitely a great effort. And yeah, I'm glad for the guys. We've been working really hard for the last 3 years to be where we are now, and happy that we can get the rewards.
Meanwhile, Scotland won the London tournament for the second time in a row in a scintillating final this morning. Captain Scott Riddle scored the winner as they beat England 12-5 to raise the trophy at Twickenham Stadium. Here are the tries.
Penalised Norton up against Fleming. Norton against Fleming. Norton decides he's not got the pace this time, and then comes inside and says, "Oh, will I go around you on the outside?" Norton comes back inside, outside. It is mesmeric from Daniel Norton. Robertson again. Hayton and Norton there to meet him. Referee says play on, and Scotland do play on, and they do. White is through. Needs support now though. Scotland. Thrown out wide for Robertson. Hayter is missed. It's there for Riddell. Scotland can.
It's a fairy tale. I think it is. I'm so proud of the boys. I'm also really proud of my GB teammates in England. They were absolutely fantastic today. Special mention to Dan Norton. What an outstanding season. And I'm sure the crowd absolutely loved watching him.
Dates for the 2017-2018 World 7 Series have been released. The season begins 1st December in Dubai. It'll be a busy season for teams with the Commonwealth Games and Sevens World Cup also next year. Meanwhile, New Zealand Rugby has confirmed the struggling Wellington Sevens tournament is moving to Hamilton. Hamilton's Waikato Stadium will host the event from 2018 on a 2-year contract. Meanwhile, April will be hectic for teams competing in the Commonwealth Games, with the Hong Kong Sevens from April 6th to 8th, the Commonwealth Games on the Gold Coast in Australia on the 14th and 15th, then the Singapore Sevens on the 28th and 29th. The season ends in London on 3rd of June before the World Cup kicks off in San Francisco from the 20th to the 22nd of July. The annual Island Chill Suva Marathon will be held in 8 weeks' time. The event was officially launched today, with organizers also providing an 8-week training schedule for interested participants. Rohit Deo has more.
Another year and a record number of participants is expected to take part in this year's Suva Marathon.
Hoping for more than 1,000 runners again this year. And more than that, we are aligning our runs with our goals. So basically, the goal of promoting healthy living and also promoting long-distance running as a sport in Fiji.
Athletes who wish to participate are invited to take part in the build-up events.
With 8 weeks to go, we've actually launched our 8 weeks program, which is on our website, suvamarathon.org. And we also have our normal Thursday runs, the Thursday evening runs. And then we have the first Saturday of the month runs. There's just about 2 of those to go before the marathon. But we also have a proper training plan on our website.
National Athletics coach Albert Miller says this is a good opportunity for people usually busy with work to do something for their good health.
Running the marathon is just one of the many ways that you can keep yourself fit. I think it's important that we take the extra step. You can run 20, 100 marathons, but if you're tired, it's not very good. It's all for nothing.
Meanwhile, FBC TV signed a partnership deal with organizers as one of the official media partners. The event will be held in Suva on the 22nd of July. Rohit Deo, FBC Sports.
That's it from sports this evening. Join Angie later on with your latest weather update. And in the world of the weird and the wonderful, a look at robots trying to develop a sense of touch. That and more after the break.
Bula, kerong may singatoka, kerong do talita ka na varorong na Radio Fiji 1 and Domoy Viti.
Ayaw na rin siya. Kombinasyon buti ko lang do talita ka na Radio Fiji 1 and Domoy Viti.
Kaya kuya do silil tale, nagurara may naomani, nando nga. Gitu talita gini ang do Venezuela, nagudurong barong na Radio Fiji 1 and Domoy Viti.
Na Radio Fiji 1 and Domoy Viti na bonga ni BNN.
Parliament today launched its revamped website and mobile app. This effort has been undertaken to enhance the Parliament's effort towards transparency and easy access to all documentations presented before the House. The European Union, the governments of New Zealand, Japan and Australia funded the website and app project. The app is now available on Apple Store, and by next week it'll be accessible to Android users on Play Store.
These tools provide a good foundation for transparent and responsive parliamentary function in Fiji, including new and exciting features such as direct citizen feedback to an MP or a committee.
Now with the very latest in weather.
Hello there and welcome to the Weather World. The main thing affecting the country today is an active tropophlow pressure that is lingering over us. And it didn't come alone. It has brought a heavy rain warning which remains in force for eastern Viti Levu, Kandavu, eastern parts of Vanua Levu, Tavioni and nearby smaller islands. Looking at today, in the west, it was cloudy with outbreaks of rain, and get ready for more heavy rain later tonight, which could possibly flood low-lying areas, so keep safe. Eastwards from Peck Harbour to Suva, conditions were much the same and heavy rain is likely for tonight as well. And up in Vanua Levu, it was cloudy with a few thunderstorms. A few light showers can be expected overnight. At sea, pretty rough out there. A strong wind warning is now in force for all Fiji waters. And for the tides, low tide tonight will be at 9:38 with a high tide tomorrow morning at 3:28. Sunrise will be at 6:27. For tomorrow, get your umbrellas, raincoats or whatever you can to shield yourself because we're in for heavy rain which is likely to affect the whole country. Tomorrow's temps, Nandi and Lautoka will be the coolest with highs of 27 and lows of 23. Looking further on to Wednesday, the winds will blow all the rainy stuff away, giving us fine conditions, we hope. And that, Jackie, is our very rainy FBC weather for tonight.
Thanks so much for that, Angie. On Fiji and Pulse today, we asked, should plastic bag usage be banned in Fiji?
I don't think plastic should be banned in Fiji because it's useful in many ways.
Yes, of course. Plastic bags is harmful to the living things in the seawater, especially the fish.
We can ban use of plastic bag or we can recycle plastic bags.
Yes, because it's convenient.
Recapping the main stories, $10 million sugar help creates debate in Parliament. Fiji police works closely with Interpol to fight crime. And Fiji's Sevens team finishes third in World Series. For these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. To our poll question, the results from last week, we had asked, should Fiji have a team in the Super Rugby competition? 70% said yes. This week we are asking, should plastic bag usage be banned in Fiji? Visit our FBC website to answer. Before we go, today's shot of the day, staying ahead of the storm, was sent in by Shivani Reddy of the South Pacific Aviation Training Institute. Send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. Or you can also follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. That was your FBC News for tonight from the team and I. Good night.
हमारा नाम संत कुमार है, हम रेडियो फीजी 2 सुनता है और ताबुआ में सबसे बेहाल रेडियो फीजी 2 है यार।
हम बिना विमलेश रकविंदी ताबुआ से रेडियो फीजी 2 हमारा सबसे फेवरेट स्टेशन है।
हमारा नाम ब्रूस राव है, रेकेरेकी मार्केट वेंडा और रेडियो फीजी 2 देश के धड़कन 1954 से हम सुनता है।
हम कबूली ताबुआ रहता है, हमारा नाम है रमेश चंद और हमारी मछली के धंधा है और हम सब टाइम रेडियो फीजी 2 सुनता है।
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन।